Hey everybody, how's it going today? I see we've got Charlie, Fallen Arkansas Veterans, and Gwen with Broke Cowgirl Homestead. How are you guys doing? Just want to make sure you guys can see and hear me okay, because I don't have my headphones on, because I figured the house was quiet, so I was going to give it a chance. Hey, Little Ridge Farm, welcome in, Mark. Hey, Rhonda, Redeemed Prodigal, and a Homesteading Hustle, Sarah, thank you. Oh, happy birthday to Gwen at Broke Cowgirls Homestead's hubby. How fun. Safe driving, Sarah. Safe driving. Yeah, so thank you, Charlie. I appreciate you so much, my friend. So everybody's lives are busy, and hey, Farm Fresh. And so, how it goes, just trying to get a time, right, is hard. So we found a time that worked, especially between us being Mountain Standard Time and Kari being Eastern. There's a 2-hour difference. Hey, Blue Self-Reliance. No worries, hun. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you. Hello, Food Forest. Welcome in. So yeah, thanks guys for coming in. Really appreciate y'all. I know it's not, like I said, the normal day, right? But we will definitely do our Friday night live as per normal. But I wanted to do this so you guys had a chance to meet Kari. So you guys ready? We're going to bring her up. What do you think? I'm going to get a sip of my coffee first. All right. Well, we are going to bring up Kari. Kari, you ready back there? All right. Here she is. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well.
So Kari is from Yogihollowfarm. I always get tongue-tied when I say that, so I try to say it slowly. Hey, Kelly at Mickelson family, thank you for being here. And yes, I did get your card. Thank you so much. It's in the next mail call. Our mail was delayed because just want to tell a couple people before we get started. We had 2 weeks of about blizzard conditions, not necessarily here, but on the interstate route. And so most of the 14 days, we ended up having the interstate closed. So our mail was delayed. So we finally got all our Christmas stuff in. In fact, I've got a pile here to do a mail call on. So I haven't forgotten, guys. Just bear with me. So let's see. Oh, Farm Fresh just subscribed to Kari.
That's awesome. Thank you.
No worries, Kelly. No worries. I am so bad at sending Christmas cards. I'm awful. Oh, we lost Kari. She'll be back. The wonders of technology. There she is. Oh, we can't hear you. Nope. Bear with us, guys. It's what always happens on these darn lives, right? Kari, sometimes if you can hear me, if you go back out and come back in. So we'll have her do that and see how that works. Oh, no. Yeah, exactly, Gwen. Exactly. Remembers the USPS slogan. Yeah, no, because it was out of their control, too. I have to give them credit for that because they literally had highway patrolmen doing escorts on the highway to get stranded trucks where they needed to go. Thank you. Hey, New Beginnings. Thank you so much, Dawn. We appreciate you. Hello, Rhonda. I hope we get it too. We're going to give it a shot. We'll keep going. Technical stuff happens, right? Yeah, I wouldn't want to drive in that mess either. Yeah, the interstate here is like on either side is prairie, like flat plains. So we're talking it was rip roaring wind right across it. So even after the blizzard, there were blizzard-like conditions with other snowstorms coming through. It was crazy. So, but thanks for coming in, everybody. I appreciate it. Diesel's up and walking around now because he thinks people are in here. I just want to look and make sure Kari's not having any issues if she needs me. So not being rude. But yeah, how's everybody doing?
Kari Blandford joined.
Oh, she's back. The biggest town is an hour north of us, and that is Rapid City. You ready, Kari? All right. There she is.
That's so weird. I don't know what happened. I could hear you and see you. You just couldn't hear me.
Yeah. Oh, Diesel, come here. So I have a big bad bulldog who decides to wake up and bark every time I'm live, and that's the joke. So I'm going to try and pet him while I'm talking to you. No worries, Rhonda. Thanks for stopping by, Rhonda Redeemed. So Kari, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself that you feel comfortable sharing, like what state you're in and that kind of thing.
Hi, everyone. So my name's Kari, and I am in Florida, and we have about 6 acres. We keep chickens and ducks, swans, although we've had trouble with our swans. Something keeps trying to eat them. And we have alpacas and goats. And then I have huge tortoises.
The tortoises are cool.
And a garden.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no worries, Little Ridge. Thanks for being here. And you have a chicken coop that is the cutest thing ever.
Oh, thank you. So we moved to this house. I guess it'll be 2 years in February. We've been in this house, and it was an older home. And on the front piece of the property, they had built, God, it was probably in the 70s because it was really old. They had built like a little play set for their kids. And it was like a little house inside. It had wallpaper and electricity and everything. And so we just cut a hole in the back of it and added a run, and it's got a little porch, and so turned it into my front yard chicken coop.
It is super cute. I love it. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
So, before we get more into your story, and I forget, I'm going to be honest, can you talk a little bit about the Homestead Cribs tours? That was your idea. Oh, we lost her again. She'll be back. Oh, no, we can't hear you. Oh, poor thing. We'll give her a chance to come back on. I-90 is in my backyard, but in Ohio. I've been to Florida twice. Oh, we lost her. She'll be back. Yep. So anyway, while we're waiting for Kari, Homestead Cribs Tour is, that was a weird noise. Hey, Annette at Annie's Urban Kitchen. So Kari came up with this idea, and so we are just one of the co-hosts along with her. Farm Honey, which is Rhonda, is another co-host. And so on Instagram, we're doing the Homestead Cribs tours. And so for the month of January, there's four weeks of feathered friend, and you tour your coop, you do a reel and you show people. And then we do furry friends, gardens, and then other stuff. And then what we're doing is also at the end of it, we're doing a giveaway. So it's been really cool. I know not everybody's on Instagram, but if you are, it's a really cool thing. We toured all of our coops. We also toured our pig barns. And, Instagram has a lot of these challenges that people do, like photo challenges, reels challenges. And it's not really a challenge per se, but it's just fun. It's just a fun way to connect with other people. And, like the YouTube community, the Instagram community is amazing. Homesteaders that really connect and help each other and our family. I don't know if everybody here is, but I know that, you know, a lot of people are on Instagram. So anyway, we did all our tours. We'll be doing more tours, and it's just fun. You know, there's all these giveaways and stuff. So it's just fun to be a part of the giveaways. Hey, Colleen Farquharson, thanks for being here. Appreciate you, my friend. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. And I think some people are actually sharing their stuff in both places. Like, you know, when you share it on Instagram, you can share it to Facebook. And so they're sharing to both Instagram and Facebook for their reels. I haven't done both. I think maybe if I did, it was by accident. I didn't click the button. But it's been pretty cool. You know, we've just been sharing. Rhonda shared where her geese were at. And so that's Rhonda from Farm Honey, who was on our live a couple of weeks ago and bailed me out, but is also amazing. I love her. So yeah, so we were having fun with it. We're having a lot of fun with it. So I'm not, everybody who knows me knows I'm not a fan of Facebook. I'm just not. And it's funny because, you know, the other day I was looking at
Kari Bland for join.
a couple of reels on Facebook versus Instagram, and there's some nasty comments, and I think I'll stick with Instagram. So, oh, there she is. Hello.
I don't know why it keeps kicking me out.
I don't know either. Are you on wireless?
I am not, but I wonder if I went with my computer instead of my phone, if it would be better.
Is that hooked to wireless?
My phone is, yes, but it usually works perfectly in here, so I don't know what's going on with it.
Well, if you get kicked off again, we'll go to the computer.
Okay, sounds
How's
like a
that sound?
plan.
All right. So talk about the homestead. I talked about the homestead cribs tours, but I want you to talk about it because it was your idea.
Yeah, so I could just sit on Instagram and just scroll through everyone's pictures and see all the animals and stuff like that. But my favorite thing is to see everyone's barns and how they set everything up and all their cool ideas. So I had never done a giveaway on Instagram before. So I thought, oh, it might be cool to do like a homestead tour to see the coops, see the barns, see other things like we might not even think about asking to see, you know what I mean, at a homestead. So we did, first week was chicken coops, but if anyone missed it, it's not too late if you have a chicken coop, if you want to show it. And this week is furry friends. So, you know, horses, goats, alpacas, anything. Next week is gardens, which I'm super excited about. And then the last week we did like a wild card. So it has been so fun, Rhonda. We did a wild card. So it's something you might want to share that we might not know about. Like for my house might be my tortoises or something like that. So yeah, so it's been really fun. And I've gotten so many cool ideas. One gal had on chunnels. So a tunnel for chickens, hence chunnels. So next week I am totally gonna make a chunnel for my chicken coop.
And you know, the coolest thing is seeing people and what they do to repurpose stuff is absolutely phenomenal. We had somebody who also turned a kid's playhouse into the cutest little coop.
Yeah, it's really, really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, Broke Cowgirl says hers would be a dirt tour.
Yeah, she's in Texas though, so
yeah,
it's funny because like that's what I had told Kari when she brought it up. I'm like, I don't have anything in my garden.
Well, see, in Florida, the winter, well, where I'm at, the winter is the best time to grow because we just have so many bugs. In the winter, not so many bugs, so it's much easier, and it's so hot and it rains, so winter is the best time.
Hey, Lisa Colovi. And guys, Lisa Colovi is not moderating today because she's at work, so she's like my super mod. So on Friday nights, So yeah, so it's been really fun, and I think it's really picked up momentum as
Yeah,
the
it's
month
been
has gone
super.
on. Do you know Piney Oaks in Florida?
I am not sure. I follow I probably have 10 zillion people on my Instagram, and I follow so many. I'll have to look. I'll have to look. Where in Florida, Rhonda, are they?
Did I miss Danny at Wicked Awesome Gardening? I saw Charlie said hello to her. Danny, hi. So well, the chat is usually like a little delayed. So
Yeah.
hey our new land, welcome in, welcome in. Rhonda's checking. You too, Sarah. Thank you. And Sarah at a homesteading hustle.
Nice to meet you.
She followed you on both platforms.
Oh,
Nice. Thank you.
cool. Thank you.
So you recently started a YouTube channel, or you had one and you've changed it a bit. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. So I used to sell LuLaRoe, all the leggings. And I don't do that anymore, although it was super fun. And it taught me how to use, all the technology and everything. Oh, in Miami, Rhonda says, I'll have to look at that one. I do follow a lot of people that are in South Florida, Camp Kennan, because he has tortoises. And then there's a guy, Blake, gosh, what's his, I think it's Bear, Bear. He has a great Instagram page and YouTube page, but they have homesteads with like all the animals and everything. I'll have to look Piney Oaks up. That's super cool. But anyways, yeah, it taught me how to do all the, social media and the lives and stuff like that. So, started with that. And then, during COVID, I kind of quit doing that because it's just too much to do all of that. And then, just kind of focused on the garden and the animals. And before that, I was a teacher. I taught first grade for 22 years. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Do you have pictures of the tortoises on your Instagram page?
Oh, yeah. So if you go to my Instagram page,
Oh,
and
here we go.
at the top where it has like the little highlights, I think they call it highlights.
Yep.
So I try to feature each animal in a highlight, and I've got my tortoises on there. So they're super cool.
Excuse me. I just wanted to thank you. I have to get my highlights in a row. I do not do well with them.
Oh, you know
There
what
they are.
Well, so for stories, it always bothered me that my stories would disappear because sometimes they're cool, And so I try to, whenever I have a cool story, I'll save it to my highlights. Yeah, there they are. That's Buttercup and Rosie.
Oh, so cool. Thank
Bell
you.
Hotel.
Oh, thank you, Gwen. Hello, Kevin, Tuber Chat. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Yeah. How do I find time for social media? Yeah, my hubby is like all over me with the phone, and I'm like, well, I'm trying to respond to people. I tell my hubby, look, I'm trying to build part of a business here, so you need to deal with it.
Oh, Brooke Cowgirl says she has a friend that has big tortoises. Yeah, they're so fun. They're so fun.
They really are cool.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure in the chat I didn't miss anybody. Oh, sorry you can't have chickens in that.
Chickens aren't that noisy. If you keep 2 chickens and just don't get a rooster and you have a fence, they may not realize you have chickens. I lived lots of places that I can't have chickens, and I still have chickens. I still had them.
Let's get 2.
I mean, they're really not that noisy as long as you don't tell all the neighbors, and maybe give your neighbors on both sides free eggs and have a fence and don't keep a rooster. You're good to go, I think.
And don't get Rhode Island Reds.
Yeah.
Hey, Dillhole. Hey there, Joe, Garden State Gardener. Yeah, it's really funny because I have Rhode Island Reds and they are mouthy. They make so much noise. It doesn't matter for us, but they make noise.
Yeah.
Does anyone want Morans just because they can't get salmonella? No, I don't know anything about that. Do you have Morans?
No, I don't. I have Silkies and Cochins, and then therefore I have Silky Cochin mixes. And then last spring I bought a whole slew of different chickens to do rainbow eggs. So I've got some Arcanas and a few different ones. But I've had a predator problem, so I still have probably about 20 chickens, but I am down a lot of chickens. So I've got some girls sitting on eggs right now. So I might get some babies here soon. We'll see.
Cool. Happy New Year, Joe at Garden State Gardener. Let's see. I just want to go down Dill Hole. Dill Hole, what did you do? The judge says you can't hang out with chickens anymore. Hey, Grace and Fire. Oh, that's cool. She says, Grace and Fire says they have oldest has a Russian tortoise. So cute.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, Don Ray B. The pores are so small they can't get salmonella. I never heard of that. Although I don't worry about it. I just take precautions. That's all. Kelly, she's in Florida. So a lot warmer than us. And yes, Grace and Fire. I'm sorry you lost your first hen.
Oh, that's terrible.
It is terrible. It's just,
This winter, we've lost 2 swans, 2 turkeys, and 2 Peking ducks. Trying to figure out what we've got. The chickens, I don't lose as much because they'll go into their coop at night. But the turkeys and the swans and the ducks are more difficult to get up. When they were little, I was able to get them back in the coop. They would follow me for food. But now that they're older, they want to stay on the pond. So
yeah. And I mean, hang on a minute. I got to take care of the nastiness in the chat.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's always
I
fun.
forgot about those guys. We used to get that a lot when we were
Andrew, I just took this off your wall.
Hold on, guys.
doing our lives. That's funny. So I've learned at my house, it's funny because different houses, different animals get eaten. I think, it just depends on where you are and what's around. So it's really funny because last spring I got khaki Campbells, Peking ducks, and some chickens and some turkeys. And all of my turkeys and ducks that have white feathers. So my Peking ducks and my turkeys, the royal turkeys, all got eaten, and my khaki Campbells, who are more the color of the water, did not get eaten. So I'm thinking I have 1 swan left that didn't get eaten. So I think the next swan I'll get a darker colored swan, because I think it has to do with the color of the animal, and where we are. So I'm not going to get any more birds with white feathers, because whatever I have, I don't know if it's an owl or coyote or what, but it seems to be able to see them at night and get them, I think, is what's going on.
We had owls get our ducklings when they were small. So we have owls a lot on the property. We had an owl get chickens. We had an owl get ducks and stuff. And so I don't know, all sorts of things. It's so hard when you're trying. They weren't white, they were dark, but still,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I know that one time when we had the piglets out, I was worried because the owl couldn't pick them up at that stage of their life, but it could kill them and leave them there. So we had owls on the property making all kinds of racket, and they were down in the back, actually. They were down by the piglets, and then they were way in the back over by the pheasants and the turkeys when they were in the runs down there.
Oh, Grace and Fire. I've heard that to get darker colored chickens and they think it's crows. I've heard that. And another thing I'm going to try, I bought one of those, those you plug in, and it goes in front of like the people at car dealerships have them, and it's the little guy and his head goes like that, you know. I've heard that scares predators away as well, and so I'm gonna plug that in and see if it scares whatever we have over here.
Yeah.
Trying to get it. Yeah.
Oh, Angleside Farm. So I just lost a chicken. All I could find was a pile of feathers. I have no idea what got it. Yeah, owls. It depends on the type of owl that it is. We have several different types of owls here, and they usually are here when, so case in point, right before a storm, so right before a snowstorm, it's hazy, it's overcast, it's cloudy. They're looking for prey because they're getting ready for the storm.
Right.
Excuse me. And they're getting ready for the storm. So I tend not to let my chickens free range if it's overcast like that. Hey, Paul's Green Space. No worries, friend. Take care, Farm Fresh. Have a great day. But yeah, I mean, it's just owls are brutal. Owls are brutal. They're just like hawks. I mean, they come down, swoop in. Let's see. So I'm trying to think, like, did you replace a swan?
I did. It's been a swan adventure. So our house, right behind our house, we have this beautiful pond with a fountain, and I've always kept ducks. I actually had a Peking duck for 15 years. His name was Quackers, and we had him forever. And we lost Quackers right when we moved in here, just to old age. And I thought, oh, it'd be really cool to have swans. So a fella down the street was selling all of his bee equipment. And at the time I was starting my beehive. And so I had gone over there to get his bee equipment, and he had swans. And so he said, you know, when I have babies, you can get one. So I got one. It was a male. They call it cygnets when they're little. And so I got him, but of course they need a mate. So then I bought a female to go with him. And I still have the female, but his name was Don Swan. Don Swan hurt his leg, and I was trying to keep him in the coop, but like I said, the bigger the swans get, they don't want to go in the coop. And so a predator got him because he couldn't, you know, he was not fast on his feet. And so then I got another male to replace Don Swan. We got Don Swan number 2, and he was a full size. I mean, he probably weighed 40 pounds. He was huge. And I found him floating in the lake. And we're not sure if something got, of course, he was still there because he was huge. Nothing could have taken him off. Well, I guess maybe a coyote could have, but we're not sure if he died of a health problem or if something tried to get him. So I've got trail cams set up, and we've been watching to try to see what we have back there. So far, all I've seen is raccoons, so I don't know. So I'm trying to decide if I want to get another swan because they're difficult to keep, it seems to be, or I might try emus because they're giant. And
yeah,
that would be safer to get emus.
Thanks, Steve. Have a great day. Grace and Fire said, I love that you named the swans. How is your female swan doing alone?
Well, so when I got Don Swan and Swanita is my female. I also happen to have gotten turkeys and some chickens and some ducks at the same time. So they all love each other. It's the funniest little pack. I call them the wacky packy because they're, you know, it was 2 Peking ducks, 3 khaki Campbells, 2 swans, and 3 turkeys, and they all stay together. I mean, either turkeys will go to the edge of the pond and sit when the rest of them are swimming. So she is with Tom the turkey, Wild Turkey Tom, I call him. Wild Turkey Tom and Swanita are together in a coop that I have until we figure out what we have going on. Oh, thank you. They said those names are the best. I try to name them names that I can remember.
Yeah.
Oh, Fallen Arkansas says, get a baby emu and you'll have a friend for life. That's what I'm leaning towards.
I have been trying to get Ryan to get an emu, and he said nope, which is fine because I'll just keep getting pigs.
I used to have a pig. I loved my pig.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, and I know some of the folks in the chat here saw, one of our subscribers and friends, Carla at Living a Rogue Life, sent us talking buttons for
Oh,
Norman. I never heard of them.
oh, that's cool.
So apparently people teach their dogs to hit these buttons.
Oh, I've seen that. I have seen that.
So that's for Norman.
Oh,
the
that's
pig.
super. I think Norman will be able to figure it out because we had a pig once. It was a potbelly pig, and it was when I was teaching still. We had a coop, or not a coop. We had a barn for him and everything. He loved Starbucks, and he would like put his little lip out, and we would pour. He liked peppermint mocha, is what he liked, and we would pour.
Ah,
And every time we came home, he knew, and he'd start squealing. But when I would leave for school in the morning, that little fellow would lift up the gate with his nose, and he would go from neighbor to neighbor for treats and like hit their back door with his snout. He would go to the first neighbor and get a treat, and then he would go to the next neighbor. He knew they were home because they were retired. And then by the time I got home from school in the afternoon, he would be back in his barn.
oh, that's funny.
They are crazy smart.
They are. I always laugh because, you know, people say, oh, pigs are so smart. They don't go to the bathroom where they sleep and eat. And I'm like, mine poop in their bowls. They poop in their barn. But part of that is because we have the cold winter. And so they don't want to get out of the barn because in the summer they won't do that. You know what I mean? Like the girls, I mean, when they were farrowing, I cleaned their barn like 2 weeks ahead of time. And I said, all right, I'll just pick it up and see what I need to do. They didn't go to the bathroom in it. Wintertime hits. Oh my gosh.
They go into the bathroom.
Yeah. Hey,
That's-
Danny.
So Arnie Land says he would never own an emu. He used to work on an emu farm. I would like to know why too, because I'm on the fence.
Yep.
And I've also
I had
seen,
put, oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
I was going to say, I put in the chat that I wanted to know why.
Yes. Well, have you seen there's a gal on Instagram that has her emu up all the time, and that emu is kind of mean. I can't remember.
Oh, Useless Farm.
Oh, it's Karen the emu.
I think some of that is just for the effect.
I know, but it's still scary. But then I see some with the little babies. There's I love this one YouTube channel, and I'm not going to remember the name of it, but it's a sweet little family, something on a hill. I can't remember. And they have emus, and they've got little kids, and their kids run, and the emus chase them, and it is so cute.
Oh, is that White House on the Hill?
Yes, that's it. White
Yeah.
House on the Hill.
They were really helpful in messaging back and forth with me about my turkeys, and that's why my turkeys are in a pen, because they have an aviary.
Yes, it's so cool.
It is. And so I had asked him, I was like, look, I have turkeys and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, if you don't pen them up, be prepared. They're either going to get eaten or they're going to disappear. That's what he told me. And I said, so that's why I have mine penned in.
Yeah. And it's hard because I've noticed, I thought they would be like, because this is my first year with turkeys. I've had chickens for probably 20 years. This is my first year with turkeys, and I thought they would be like chickens. You know, they would go up at night and roost, but no, they don't. And sometimes they roost, and sometimes they stay on the ground. And I think that's probably what. And Wild Turkey Tom, he'll get in the lake with the swans. So there's just like fun. And sometimes when I wake up in the morning, our house is kind of up, and there's stairs, and we have a back porch with a sliding glass. I don't know if you've seen me post videos of him. He pecks on my back glass.
Yeah.
Because he wants us to come out and give him treats.
Yeah. They had several dozen of them, which is much different than just one or two. They were mean, especially when I was trying to vent them. Yeah.
Okay.
Devon Rule, number 148. Do not own a large number of animals that need venting. Huh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be getting one. I'd like one, but I don't know that I'll be getting one. apparently I'm going to be teaching Norman how to talk. That's going to be fun.
That's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be really cool.
Oh, no worries, Danny. No worries. Wicked awesome.
Some garden says White House on the Hill. I love that. They're the cutest little family. I love watching their stuff.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Watching their show made me want to do an aviary around my pond to keep my swans. I asked my husband, he thought I was crazy. He's like, we're not doing that.
So I know I asked you a while back, but I don't think we got too far into it because I think we got sidetracked. So like your YouTube, you were saying you used to do LuLaRoe.
Oh yeah, so I used to do LuLaRoe and of course quit doing that during COVID. And so then I'd done my Instagram page for a number of years with my animals just to kind of keep, so my Facebook is my friends and family, and I don't post as much animal stuff because, you know, not everybody likes that. How could you not? But apparently some people don't want to see my critters as much as I do. So I made Instagram just for farm stuff. So my garden and my animals and stuff like that. And I was doing so many reels and stuff. I thought, well, why not, document it on YouTube as well? Really just for, I like to look back and see, how I started and how much we've grown over the years.
Yeah, that's what's really cool.
Yeah.
I know that we have gone back. A friend of mine suggested that we go back and look at our older videos and then come forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's really amazing to do that.
It is cool. I did that on Instagram, just scrolled back and back and back, and I found this little picture. It was my garden was probably the size of my kitchen table, and both of my boys, one was probably 3 and one was like 6-ish. They're grown now, 21 and 25, and we had this cute little garden with bricks around it, and we had our little lettuce and everything growing, and it's just really cool to see that little cute picture. And now I've got a big huge garden with all my things growing. It's just fun. Every year add a little bit more and a little bit more.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
And so you guys will get a kick out of this, those that have been following us for a while. So Kari, somehow we got connected right on Instagram, but one of the things where we connected on was, guess what one of her dog's names is?
Yes, that is how I forgot about that.
That's right. So Kari posted in her stories one day, and I was like, "You have a Yogi?
Yogi
Bear. Has a dog named Yogi Bear."
So I have 2 standard poodles. Sugar Bear is my little white standard poodle, and then Yogi Bear, he looks like a little black bear. Although I think he's going to end up being what they call a blue poodle, kind of gray, kind of bluish, kind of blackish colored. But yes, this is Yogi Bear. And I almost thought, well, I'll show Yogi because his name is Yogi, but if anybody makes noises or the phone rings or somebody knocks, they go crazy. So I thought probably best to not do that.
I totally get it. I totally get it.
I do. I had a Pooh Bear in college. I had a Pooh Bear. I had a Pooh Bear, and we tried. I thought maybe have 3 standard poodles, but I babysat for a friend of mine that was having surgery. And while his poodle, it's Sugar Bear's brother, actually, his name is Bentley. And while Bentley was a perfect angel, he was so sweet and cuddly. He's giant. I mean, he hovers over my poodles. Having 3 dogs in the house is a lot different than having 2 dogs in the house.
That becomes pack mentality.
Yes, it was a lot. So
yeah,
let's keep it to 2.
Yeah, I totally get that. My first 3 wiener dogs were Wrangler, Rocky, and Cinch. Jeez.
Oh, that's cute.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah, she's got some really cute dogs. You need to show more of your dogs.
I've got to go follow her. I love to see all the pictures of the dogs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So let's just stop and see if anybody has any questions for you while you're here. We'll give them a second to type in and see how things are going. But yeah, I mean, hey, Blue Collar Homestead, welcome in. So So we just throwing it out there. If you have any questions for Kari, we just kind of did a laid back thing so you guys could see her and meet her. Just really some cool stuff. Really, I mean, I've been enjoying. I was watching your videos of the tortoises, and it's just really cool. And the alpacas are really cool too.
Oh, I love alpacas. That's some of my goals this year. I met a lady. So I've had my alpacas for probably 6 years, and somebody who has alpacas is probably going to be like, I can't believe she's done that. But every year you have to get them sheared, well, especially in Florida because it's so hot. And I've never done anything with their fibers. So, oh, she says, I love poodles and mishap. Oh, they're so cute. They're great dogs. But that's one of my goals. Oh, somebody said, Broke Cowgirl says, do you do anything with the fiber? I have never done anything with their fiber. So the first 2 years that we sheared them, we had hurricanes come through. We had Irma and I forget what the other one was. And I had kept all their fibers and I put it in a garbage bag and I had it in my garage in a safe place and we flooded. So I had to throw it out. And then the next year we moved and the next year was COVID and I've just never done anything. But I met a gal at a craft show and she makes hats out of alpaca fiber and I buy one every year. And she has a farm not too far from here and she invited me to come out and learn how to process my fiber. So that is one of my goals this year is to do something with my alpaca fiber because it's ridiculous to not because it's so pretty.
So I'm going to put Kari's link here again. It is pinned to the top of the chat, but there it is right there. It's Yogihollowfarm. I typed Kari. I screwed that up. Charlie at Fallen Arkansas Veterans wants to know, how big is your garden and what do you grow?
Oh, so right now, I have all the winter stuff. Well, for Florida winter, because I know you guys probably can't grow anything right now. So we've got the lettuces, the broccoli, cauliflower, all the winter things. And I've been trying to do some cut flowers the last year and this year. Right now, I have ranunculus and anemones out there and some strawberries. And so we just had our first anemone bloom last week, and my ranunculus is almost ready to bloom. Starting to get our strawberries. And then my garden, I don't know exactly how big it is. I need to kind of walk it. It started off and then got bigger and bigger and bigger. And we just added some kind of like rows, like little hills. And we did the landscape fabric over it for the strawberries and the ranunculus and anemone. So I need to walk it off. It's pretty big. It's bigger than I need, I think, but it's still fun. And in the summertime, I love to do pumpkins. We do Seminole pumpkins down here. We can't get regular pumpkins to grow because everything eats them. Yeah. So we have what they call Seminole pumpkins. The Seminole Indians used to actually grow them and eat them. And they actually, oh, you know what? I have one right here. They don't look like your standard pumpkin. But this is a Seminole pumpkin. And I'm a very holiday oriented person. So I love Halloween. So I grow these and I decorate my whole front porch with them. But you can also grow these. They can hang. If anybody's ever done an the arch, and they hang, and it's so fun to walk through them and see the pumpkins hanging down.
Gwen, we need to get alpacas then.
Yeah. That's why I said it's ridiculous I haven't done anything with them. It's just every year something happens.
And Paul, I typed in, but I didn't tag you because I don't know why, but I said it's all good, something to work towards and make good use of what you have.
Yeah. Well, this is the biggest property we've had the last 10 years or so. The house before this was a regular neighborhood, and I kept my alpacas there, but I did a fence. I think I had an acre and a half, and we did a fence and we did huge bushes because alpacas don't make noise. So, nobody knew they were there.
Same for my hubby, Gwen. Oh, cool. Thanks, Christy Baum. Hey, Tina Ladybug. Do you can what you grow?
I have started canning, yes. So I am so lucky that we have in the county right north of us, they actually have a canning center, and you can go there and take lessons, and it's like $20, and you show up empty-handed. You don't have to bring anything, and they teach you how to can whatever they're making that day, and then you leave with 2 jars of whatever you learned. So
Wow.
I've done that for now for a year. So I've gotten, I wouldn't say wonderful at it, but I've gotten good enough that I can, use my things that I've learned to can. And so this year, as soon as my strawberries get here, I will be doing all kinds of stuff with my strawberries,
That's
jelly,
awesome.
all that good stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, Charlie, they are. Local meat goat farm here has alpacas that look over the goats. And yes, that does sound awesome, blue collar. Sometimes your
extension office.
extension office will have that. In fact, they just you guys, those of you who follow us for a while know that I've gone on and on about the freeze dried candy stuff. That I'm more of the person who says I'm going to use my freeze dryer for food, not candy. But I did find out, and I thought this was interesting. I found this out today. They just recently changed the laws, the cottage laws in South Dakota, because candy was not allowed.
Oh.
We had stricter rules here, and they just loosened the laws to help the supply chain and help rural areas be able to be, build up, their entrepreneurial spirit. So, what do you said you had goats?
I only have 2 goats. So my property is about 6 acres, but it's kind of long and skinny. And where I have my animals, it's not a huge place. So I've got 2 alpacas, 2 goats, just enough to have fun with, but I don't want to get too many, A, to irritate the neighbors, but B, they don't have quite as big of a space. I am extending their fenced area to include the pond in hopes that it will, if I let them all out, it keeps some of the predators away.
And the goat farm here has the alpacas to guard against mainly coyotes, but also mountain lions. They have them, believe it or not.
Well, it's funny.
With it.
So
Hey,
we got the dogs to protect the alpacas, and the alpacas protect the goats, but still everything's eating my swans. So nobody is protecting the swans. I don't know.
Oh, it's crazy. Hey, John Brinkworth, welcome in.
Nigerian dwarf goats is, if she's asking, that's what I have.
She is asking because that's what she has.
Yes, I have 2. One's name is Billy and one's name is Wilma, after my Mimi and my granny.
Aw, how sweet.
I'm sure they're up in heaven shaking their heads, laughing like she named her goats after us.
When milks her goats.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I have not bred my goats, so that's another thing I would like to try, but it makes me a little bit nervous.
Well, Gwen's the one to watch for that. She does a lot of milking.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, from goat milk to goat milk soap to you name it.
I would love to learn how to do that because I do make soap. So it would be cool to have your own goat's milk.
Hey, Barb's Country Home, welcome in. She's got Magnolia, Honeysuckle, Poppy, and Jasmine, and her buck is Tornado.
Oh, those are the cutest names. I love it.
So, yeah, it's awesome. Did I miss any questions in the chat, guys? I don't think I did.
I was trying to read, but
yeah, the melon goes really quick sometimes. I just want to make sure. So I wanted to go back to the canning center that you were talking about in blue collar. So our extension, like I said, when they changed the laws, they now have an online class that you have to take every 5 years. So I think I'm going to go take that. And that is for selling goods and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, it's really neat. So it's actually through the extension office, this canning place is. And it's been there forever. I never knew about it. And when I had gotten really into gardening a lot and I was growing more food than we could keep up with, I needed to learn how to can. And so I tried to do it on YouTube and Instagram. And I found a lot of really cool people to follow, but it's not the same as like being in the kitchen and having someone do it with you. You know what I mean? So I Googled it and it popped up. And I've been going now for about a year. They have classes on Saturdays and Mondays.
Nice. Feel better, Don Ray B. Yeah, I know that Blue Collar Homestead said that the goat market's been hard by them. And I think part of that is probably because there's a lot of people moving to Tennessee. So a lot of people moving into Tennessee from all over. And I think the market gets flooded because I know Gwen at Broke Cowgirl said the goat market is strong there. So it's hard. And I do think that a lot of people are scaling back. I mean, because it's, with the price of feed and stuff like that. But I think it's a lot of different factors, not just one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, feel better, Dawn. I hate that you're sick. I'm glad you're home and go back to bed. So is there anything that we didn't cover that you might want to share about yourself? Because I've enjoyed talking to you.
Oh, it's been so fun. I mean, let's see what we've talked about: the garden, the tortoises, chickens, goats. I think we have covered everything.
How did you get the tortoises, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, that is a funny story. So I've always loved turtles. I've always loved animals. And I wanted some big tortoises, and I was looking, they're hard to find. And I found two semi big tortoises, and one of my husband's guys was helping me do a fence for them. And he said, well, Miss Kari, I have a friend that has some giant tortoises. I think she might be trying to sell them. And so, would you be interested in those? And I said, of course, I would love that. And so I contacted her, and she wasn't quite ready to sell them, so it didn't work out. And we ended up moving and in a new house a couple of years later. And I was walking the dogs, and I looked over and I saw these giant tortoises on a piece of property. They didn't live there. And I knew that the tortoises were on a piece of property by themselves. Nobody lived there. And she just came and took care of them and, had her house somewhere else. And I thought that has to be those tortoises, because how many tortoises could there be? And sure enough, it was them. And she ended up having to sell that property. And when she sold it, needed a place for the tortoises. And she called to see if I wanted them. And it happened to be on my birthday. And so I told my husband, I was like, you can't say no, it's my birthday. And they're right down the street. And so that's how we got them.
How much do they weigh about?
They weigh a lot. I don't know, because they're heavy enough that I cannot pick them up. So I don't take them to the vet or anything like that because they're huge. So I don't know. That is a good question. It would be interesting to set up a way to, I don't know how you would even weigh them. They're huge.
So what is it that you feed them? Obviously you feed them lettuce and stuff like that, or
so that's funny because my husband laughs. Everyone's like, oh, you guys have such a big garden, you eat so much out of it. And we do eat out of it, but the tortoises eat every day. I go out to feed them, and I just grab stuff out of the garden and throw it over. And like, for example, the pumpkins, they have the big long vines and they take over the yard. So when I clip back the vines and the pumpkins and stuff, I just throw it over and they eat. And then of course they eat, what the alpacas eat, the Timothy hay and orchard hay and all of that stuff. And then there's a tortoise feed that I get from Missouri, I think it is. That's for tortoises. And so they eat that. But right now it's winter. So they slow down. So they don't eat every day. And the summer they do though.
So you do feed them a feed in addition to all the other stuff?
I do.
Yeah, nice.
Not everybody does, but I do.
That's really cool. They're just cool to watch.
They are cool. And that's another goal I have. I have a list of of homestead goals, I want to build them a little pond, not a pond, like just a little like a little wading pool, because they are supposed to like to get in and soak. So we're gonna try to see if we can do something like that for them.
And that's pretty easy to do if you think about it, because I mean, if it doesn't need to be that deep, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just enough to get the bottom of their shell a little wet, and they can just chill out in there.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah.
So there is a question before we get going. Do you do any inside crafts?
I love to do crafts. I go back and forth, you know. I get all excited about one thing and I'm like all in, and then I'll see something else and I get really excited and I'm all in. So lately the crafting that I've been doing involves like decorating my barn, my coop and stuff like that. I have a giant Bigfoot that sits at the front of our driveway. And if you go on to my Instagram page, if you look for Bigfoot on there, every month I decorate Bigfoot. You know, he's got like a costume. So today he's getting his Valentine costume, and he's got like headgear and little Cupid wings and all that. So lately I've been doing that. And then I also keep a, I call it the everything tree. I keep my Christmas tree up all year, and it has, I can change the color of the lights on my phone. And so I do a lot of crafting, you know, for ornaments and stuff like that. And I do sew sometimes, but it just depends on what I'm into at the time. But right now, I do love to craft, but all my time is usually spent on my garden and my seeds and my animals and a little bit of crafting, you know, when I have time. But I do love to craft.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Hey,
Yeah.
Mama Grows.
She probably saw that up there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, any last questions for Kari? Because I want to just keep it limited so everybody's got time, you know, because I know we're all busy doing stuff and everything. And we appreciate you guys stopping in today.
Yes, it's been so fun. And if anybody wants to join our Homestead Cribs tour, it's not too late. We're doing it on Instagram. So it's kind of like the MTV Cribs, but Homestead Cribs. So last week we did chickens, and it's not too late to do a little tour of your chickens. People have just been doing like a 60-second reel just showing us the chicken coops.
Yep.
Small coops, big coops, fancy coops, not fancy coops. It's just fun to see them all. And you just do hashtag Homestead Cribs tour. And then this week it's furry friends. So any oh, that's okay. It's like woo, up close. Anything furry, you know, goats, horses, anything like that. And then next week is garden, which now in hindsight, because we're in Florida, somebody said, you know, well, like, you guys don't have gardens up north right now because it's snowing. We don't think about that down here. But not just a garden, like garden sheds, greenhouses, anything to do with a garden, just a cool reel. And then the last week of January, we're doing the, you know, just the wild card, anything you want to show us, you know, on your homestead, that's cool. Like my tortoises, or I have a worm farm too. So, you know,
that's cool.
Yeah, showing the worms would be cool. Anything that, you know, we might not think of.
That's really cool. I think it's been a lot of fun. I know I enjoyed it. I had a ton of coops to show.
You have had the best coops ever. I've loved yours, and my favorite so far has been the chunnel.
Yeah.
The chicken tunnel chunnel. I'm making one next week. I'm very excited.
It's so funny. She is getting so much flack about that on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, she's been posting it in her stories and stuff. And it's because people don't realize that the chunnel goes to somewhere. They think it's just a tunnel.
Oh.
And they're like, that's cruel.
It's cruel. Well, no, I mean, in my mind, it's brilliant because, for example, in my situation, I let my girl, they have a run, but I let them free range. And because of the swans and the ducks, I think I have kind of enticed predators to come, which I don't usually have. And so I have lost, I've lost all my silkies but one. I had 8 silkies. And so I'm down 7 silkies. Ooh. So I think because they can't see, when they're out free ranging, they can't see. So it's easy for something to pick them up and take them off. But I think the channel's brilliant because they can have their freedom and run through the yard because they love to do that. It's their favorite thing ever.
Yep.
They're not cooped up in their coop and then they don't get eaten. I think
I agree, but it's folks who don't stop to look at the bigger picture. Let's just say it that way.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
don't think of that. I mean, and chickens in a coop that is an adequate size and can't free range, that's not inhumane either. You know what I mean?
no, it's not. But they
So,
do love to get out. So if I were a chicken and I had to be in my coop, I would
Sure.
rather tunnel than not out the tunnel, I think. But
yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I'm a proponent of free range.
yeah.
I just, the only time I free, because we've had a dog issue and we have more eagles here now. And they're closer to the house now than they usually are. And we have the owl problem. I just tend to be a little more particular about when I let them free range. And I put a short on YouTube and I did it on Instagram, but I let them out to free range when we're here.
Right.
I won't do it if I'm not home
Yeah.
anymore. And so usually we let them out in the afternoon. And it was really funny because I let them out. I go inside, I come back out, and there's 6 wild turkeys hanging out with them. My barred rock went after one of the turkeys because what had happened is my husband threw scratch out and the chickens were eating it. In come the turkeys. And my barred rock was like, oh no, you're not eating my scratch.
It's dangerous to be a chicken and a swan, apparently.
Apparently.
And a duck.
And it's ironic because I know that the tortoise's weight probably reduces predators for them, but I always wonder if they're subject to predators.
Tortoises, well, so we have it fenced in really, really well. It's because tortoises, they're super, super strong. And it was funny because when we first got our smaller tortoises, which probably weigh 40 pounds ish, we put a fence in and it was concreted. It was like we were newbie turtle owners at the time and tortoise owners, and if tortoises can see through the fence, they'll try to get out, but if they can't see through, they won't. We didn't know that, so of course they saw through, and it was concreted in and everything, and they just lifted it up and off they went. So the big tortoises, they have a wooden fence, and it's very, very sturdy. I guess an aerial, but they've got shells, so a bird's not going to mess them up. Yeah, I'm sure a dog or I don't think even a raccoon, maybe a big dog could hurt them, but they can't get into my fence. So,
well, that's good. Well, Kari, we really enjoyed having you today.
It was so fun.
Thank you so much for taking the time to come up. I know that life is busy for all of us. So Thank you to you and thank you to everybody in the chat for stopping by on this not typical episode.
Yeah, it was so fun.
And guys, the Homesteading Academy is coming back. I kind of took a break from it in December because we had so much stuff going on. So bear with us. Maybe we'll get Kari on to talk about some alpacas if she's interested.
I would love that.
And so thank you, Kari, so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. It was nice to meet everyone.
Well, thanks everybody. And Kari, you hang on for just a second. And everybody in the chat, thanks so much. Have a wonderful day and we'll see y'all Friday.
Bye.